Good morning.
It is.
I have notes because everybody else always sees so composed, and I never am when I'm sitting in this chair.
Well, that's probably not what you want to broadcast, but we
First, I want to thank Abraham, Esther, Jerry, and all of Team Hicks.
Yeah.
Because I know it takes a village.
Yep. We're all in this together. Yes.
Thank you. I wanted to drill down a little more on something we talked about yesterday just to find some clarity.
Good.
I would like to raise capital for my company. I am very clear on what I need, and I'm open to easy, immediate, accessible manifestation.
Well, that's not possible. Well, we're having a little fun with you, but we want you to understand that I'm very clear about what I need. Well, even in the needing, you're in a frequency that's slowing it down, that's introducing resistance into it. And we just want to call to your attention that the raising of capital is a very powerful, we don't want to use the word end, but for sake of comparison, end result. It's the result of a vibration. And so how long has this desire been within you?
For about 1.5 years.
So what that means is you're holding steady to a vibration that's not letting it flow. And that is almost always, and it certainly is true in this case, because your awareness of the current condition and your desire to improve the current condition is about the condition, about the result, rather than about the vibration. So we want to say to you, just to get this started, and we'll have a good conversation. Let's say you're looking for $10 million and you're looking for $10 million immediately. Well, it's not likely, in fact, it's not going to happen, that $10 million is going to land in your bank account while you're on this stage. But it is possible that you could find the vibration at the core of it. You could get into the receiving mode and receive that. Now, let's start in a more accurate place. You've already been in that place many, many times. You've got tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you have felt, you've received the inspiration about that. But then you, like almost everybody else, you want to jump over all of this vibrational work and you want to go right to the, how do I make this happen? How do I get the money into the bank? And we want you to let it be not important, no need. Let it not be important that it's not in the bank, and savor the feeling of it. In fact, we want you all to get the spirit of what we're talking about here, about being in the receiving mode, because it feels so very good. Being in the receiving mode, being in the receiving mode, being in the receiving mode, and then receiving the inspiration, receiving the desire, receiving impulses to act. We want that sweet spot of being in alignment, that sweet spot of the constant steady unfolding, to be so delicious to you that you honestly can't be sure if you want the sweet spot to last or if you want the manifestation to come, because the sweet spot is so sweet. It's like eating an ice cream cone. Don't you want to savor it, or do you just want to scarf it and get it over with? Oh, I've got this cone, I just got to get this over with. If you can feel what we're talking about how pleasurable it is to receive an idea about something, the idea of it, that pure idea that you haven't trampled to death with your doubt, that idea of something, that knowledge, that knowledge that source has about what you want, all your vortexes has churned into this powerful desire, and your source energy has flowed it to you, and you, because you were in the receiving mode, received the idea of it, received the desire. And it feels so good. And now you are wanting to milk that feeling as long as you can. And now that feeling turns to other ideas, it turns to impulses, it turns to rendezvous, it turns to unfolding, and you know you're in the flow, because magical seeming things are happening all around you, and the right people are just showing up, and the perfect information is just coming to you, and you can just feel it. It's fleshing out, and it's so much fun being this powerful being at the center of this cooperative universe where the energy that creates worlds is flowing to you and through you. You're not creating this business on your own. all that is non-physical is creating it with you and giving you the precise ideas that are perfect for you, given the resistance that you hold as your inner being guides you over and under and around and through any resistance that you have on your trail, which just makes for a much more interesting journey. We're asking you, many of you followed right along with us about that. Wouldn't you like that to last? Wouldn't you like that to last? And you say, no, I just want to get the business going, and I just want to go to work, and I just want to get up every morning tired and drag my body over there and wrangle other people into making them do stuff they don't want to do. And we are just having a little bit of fun with you. But what we want to say to all of you is that the empires that you've built, every magnificent or large or small business that has ever been constructed by human minds on planet Earth, we have seen fully and understand intimately. And we are here to tell you that the work and the energy and the accomplishment that carries those businesses for years all happened in the sweet spot. Because once the manifestation occurred, then they faced reality. So it's sort of like dragging your sled way, way, way up the hill, and then you have a nice long ride. The more time you spend in the sweet spot, the more stable you are when the construction of the business begins to happen. So don't rush that. Savor the sweet spot. But you said the operative words when you began. I need. Well, that's a whole different thing. When you are creating, and we know that was just a word that you said because that's what most people say, but there is a vibration of need in almost everybody who has something that they are wanting to accomplish or trying to create that makes it last a month, and then another month, and then another month, and then another month, and then another month. And the thing is, when we're talking about savoring the sweet spot, we're not talking about savoring it for a year and a half. We're talking about savoring it for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, before the manifestation comes. So if it's been that long about anything that you want, you've not been in the sweet spot. You've been in the need spot. You've not been in the inspired spot. You've been in the want to make this happen so I can feel better spot. You've not been in the unconditional spot. You've been in the conditional spot. And it's all right, but we just want you to understand what must change for the sweet spot to shorten and become the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality that you think you want, that you want, that you think you want, that you want, that you think you want, that you want, that you sort of kind of want, that you think you want, that you want, but you sort of kind of want it, but you want, but there's things about it you don't want. Things about it you don't want. There's things you haven't worked out in your sweet spot. And if it came to you right now, you see, if you were a sloppier creator, which you're not, it would have come to you faster. But because you're picky in your vortex, it's really good. You're picky about what you want. It's not going to come to you before you're ready for it when it comes. And getting ready for it when it comes, that's the best part of life. That is the sweet spot. Getting yourself ready for what you're rendezvousing with. Because if you rendezvoused with what you're ready for, you won't like it. We say that to almost all of you. If right now you rendezvoused with what you think you want right now because of the preparation that you haven't yet done, and it would come to you right now, you wouldn't like it when it came. And some of you are determined. Esther is. She's determined. She makes things happen. And sometimes when they get there, she doesn't like them.
The analogy I'm thinking of as you're speaking is that I travel a lot, and I love traveling, but I think I get so much pleasure out of setting up the travel. It's just an incredible joy for me to do all the research, and that's what I'm hearing you say.
That's a very good comparison. Yeah.
What I was trying to drill down on is one of the things you said yesterday.
Well, we drilled down. That was really good. That was really good.
May I ask another question?
Yes.
Just for a little more clarity?
Yes.
One of the things you said yesterday was get into the receiving mode and then change our expectations. And my thought is, can I change my expectation? Or my question is to help me get into the receiving mode.
Well, we want to go back before that and help you to hear something. This is really good. So did we say get into the receiving mode and change your expectation? Or did we say, which is what we mean, when you get into the receiving mode, you will receive the expectation that Source has about this subject. And when you're receiving the expectation that Source has about the subject, because you're in this receiving mode, yeah, your expectation will have changed to the expectation that Source has about this. That's flow, that's inspiration, that's passion. You got goosebumps on your body, don't you?
So that's not me, because that was my question.
Well,
If
yeah,
I were to change my expectation.
But it is you. But it is you. It is you. It's you. When you find the vibrational frequency, it's you. In other words, you are us. We are you. We don't sell toys. There's no real separation between your source and you ever, except sometimes you pinch it off a little bit. And this is a wonderful distinction to understand, is because when you get into the receiving mode, you are blended. You are blended with the whole of who you are. So mastery is getting blended and staying there longer. Or mastery is at least getting there and knowing that you are there, and then knowing there where you're not there, and then knowing when you are there, and then knowing when you're not there. Mastery does not mean always being there. Mastery means knowing the difference and knowing what to do, how to get there, and getting better at sustaining being there.
When I think about my business, I'm so excited because it's such a great plan, and I have a great team and the projects, and it's just so solid, and it fills me with incredible joy. I, however, have sometimes the feelings like maybe I should just go get a job, or maybe I'm not, I don't know, I don't want to, sound,
well, so which thoughts hold you in the receiving mode, and which thoughts take you from the receiving mode?
The thoughts of where I'm going, or where I feel it's very natural for me to go.
And getting a job does not take you out of the receiving mode. It might help you stabilize while you are accomplishing the receiving mode. In other words, what humans so often do is they say, well, this is what I want, but this is what I have to do. But instead, if you're saying this is what I want to do while I'm vibrationally aligning with what I want, there's no resistance in that. Feel the difference. I have to go get a job, pointing at yourself like failing from your desire. No, it's like if you're going to travel from here to San Antonio, there's some distance that you're going to travel, and while you're on your way, you're not failing. While you're on your way, you're not failing. I'm failing, I failed all the way till I got there, is what humans want to say. How was your trip? It was a failure until I got here. Complete failure, because the whole time, 3 days I drove and I wasn't here. But I had so much fun. Then you weren't failing. I saw so many beautiful things. I interacted with so many wonderful people. Had such a good time. My heart was singing. I could feel source flowing through me. It was just the best 3 days of my life. Yeah, but you failed. You were in San Antonio most of that time. You hear us.
I was listening to Abraham the whole way.
Yeah, yeah. And you were in your cars.
Okay, so my original question is probably moved, and it was by changing my expectation.
By receiving the expectation that Source has about us, by getting in the receiving mode and practicing the feeling of the expectation that Source has, the desire that I put there, and the knowledge and belief that Source holds about it, that's expectation. And when you rendezvous with that expectation, first of all, think about what that point of attraction is. Think about law of attraction's response to that vibration. And more important, think about your now readiness to receive the impulses that come next. Don't you love it when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on? Can't you just feel that everything is there for you? Esther just squeals with delight sometimes as she can feel the perfection of the way things are congealing around her. And when you get together with your team, when you get together with others who are on that same wavelength, you become so powerful in your joyful motion forward.
I want to squeal.
Yeah.
I'm ready to squeal.
Esther will say to her friends, we're dangerous, and she doesn't mean dangerous. It's just amazing how things line up. Things line up, things line up, things line up, things line up. And they say over and over to each other, you couldn't make this stuff up. They know their vortex was full of all of it, though. They made it up a piece at a time, and the vortex mixed it up into something really good and then delivers it to them one mouthful at a time. Yeah. Enough?
Thank you.
Really good.